Hello everyone, today we have new video review, and as you can see, this time we are going to talk about fresh release from Revell. So this is a 1/72 scale release and it copies M109A6, so it's completely new to release as it's written here, and we have a, let's say, final release, so I bought it with your help, with your donations, and I'm really thankful for this. And as you can see, this kit should be quite detailed because there are 160 parts inside, and assembled vehicle will be 13 centimeters long, and as you can see, box is also surprisingly big for 1/72 scale kit. Here you can see comparison with my hand. We have nice box art, which is quite descriptive, I would say. Next, on the side we have some safety information and also barcode and website of the manufacturer. On the rear side we have pictures of the finished vehicle, or finished kit. As you can see, there are various features shown in the close-ups. We also have the small chart of the paint numbers. Of course, they are given in Revell designations, so if you would like to get a different shade from a different brand, then you would rather use some conversion table. And that's pretty much all. By the way, note that this is a level 5, so it means it's quite, I would say, complex kit according to the Revell difficulty scale. And now we are going to open it together and check what is actually included here. As you can see, everything is sealed with sticky tape, so I'm going to use the sharp knife in order to cut through, and then we'll start looking at the plastic sprues. In the meantime, I would like to remind you that if you would like to support us, there is a join button somewhere here, so you can join membership in YouTube and you will be getting various bonuses for that. There are several levels, so you choose the one you like, but one of them is really interesting because it gives you the chance to get a free kit every month, and of course you will help us in order to develop even further. So, what do we have here? We have one plastic bag with all the sprues. As you can see, it's a resealable plastic bag. We have the sticky tape here, so it will be quite interesting to open it. Actually, quite easy to open it. Just give me a sec. And of course, we have a lot of gray plastic sprues here, no clear frames as far as you can see. And we are going to start with this one. So here we have hull parts, and we are going to zoom in so that you can see them closer, maybe zoom out a bit. And whole hull should be assembled out of separate panels. Of course, all the hatches are pre-molded, so you won't be able to open them. But frankly speaking, considering their size, they could have been separate. I mean, at least some of them, so that they can be exposed on the finished model. I'm not sure why Revell decided to do it this way. Maybe just to, let's say, save some money in the development costs and make the kit a bit more accessible. So here we zoom in a bit more so that you can see, give me a second, jerry cans here. At least some hatch is molded separately here, as you can see. And here we have lower hull halves. Here we have the top hull cover. And here you can see some other elements. If we flip it over, here on the opposite side we have some guiding elements, but that's pretty much all. This is not an interior kit, so that's why there are nothing extra inside this model. Next, we continue with slightly bigger sprue, so if we zoom out you understand what I'm talking about. So here we have a floor panel, also we have the main barrel for the main gun, and surprisingly it is molded as a single piece part, unlike recent Tamiya kits, as you remember. We also have various external elements for the lower hull section mainly, and I think we can zoom in even closer so that you can see what I'm talking about. I will show it this way so that we can move from the bottom to the top. And again, we have one hatch molded separately, so I guess it will be opened. Maybe it is the rear hatch, we will see. And now let's flip it over, so here you can see the lower section from the opposite side. We have one piece barrel, as I said before, and note that attachment points are really thin, so I don't think it will be really difficult to cut through them. And here we have various minor elements for the lower hull section, the separate rear door, as you remember. And I guess it can be assembled in the open position on your vehicle, which is really cool for 1/72 scale vehicle, but still we do not get all the hatches separate. Here we continue with another grey plastic sprue. This one is dedicated to the turret parts, and as you can see, turret top part comes as a one-piece shell, and we have various hatches molded separately, so at least here you will be able to open them and expose what is inside, and basically nothing. And we also have several figures, another quite nice surprise, because usually in 1/72 scale kits we do not get any figure parts whatsoever. I'm trying to understand why it is a bit dark in our video review. Just give me a second, I'll try to increase the brightness. Maybe this way it will be better. Now we can zoom in even more, so that here you can see what do we have on the turret part. So nice anti-slip surface, by the way. Let's not forget that this is really tiny part. Here you can see comparison with my finger. So this is a 1/72 scale steel, even though the real vehicle is quite large. Here we continue with the figure parts, various accessories on the turret, and there is a minor amount of flash here, but I don't think that's a huge problem because it should be easy to clean up. And maybe I can bring the figure closer so that you can see what we have here. So hands are molded separately, but torso and legs are molded together, and here you can check them from the opposite side. So if you plan to build a tiny diorama with this vehicle, figure will come handy for such tiny kit. Next we continue with the last grey plastic sprue, and that's actually the biggest one in this kit. So here you can see, but that's not all, because we also have some compartment parts, we have tracks, and we have some hull parts, as well as these rolled wheels. So let's zoom in even closer. Now you can see that tracks come as a one-piece parts. I mean the separate sections of the tracks, which is really cool. In 1/72 scale it will help you get a nice finish without wasting your time with vinyl parts. Of course these plastic elements are easier to paint and weather. And overall, as you can see, parts are really tiny, but there is no flash on them, so it should be easy to work with them. And of course the final result will depend on your painting and weathering skills. And here you can check these parts from the opposite side. That's not all, because we also have the assembly manual, which is supplied like this. So what do we have here is also decal sheet somewhere, so just give me a second. I see the backing paper for decals, but I don't see decals themselves. So I need to check the box, or maybe it will be somewhere else, so just give me a sec. No, it's not in the box, so I guess it will be in the assembly manual somewhere. So let's start with the assembly manual. Here it is. We zoom out a bit, close the camera so that it won't be that bright. And this brochure is printed in color. Frankly speaking, I haven't dealt with Revell modern assembly manuals, so it will be interesting to see what has changed. And here we have some tips on the kit assembly, also on the decals application, and some other assembly tips. Here we have the legend signs. Next we continue with more of them, paint numbers. Next here we have a parts map. And assembly process starts with the figure. As you can see, there is also a painting guide for it. And next we continue with the lower hull section. So that's, I guess, the engine compartment, and this is really surprising because, as you can see, it is assembled out of several parts, and then it gets inserted into the rear section, actually into the front section, because we have the this vehicle here, so it might be open with help of this separate hatch, so it will be up to you whether you would like to expose it or not. Next we continue with the suspension part, so drive sprockets and road wheels. As you can see, a lot of stuff to assembly and paint. And don't forget about these rubber sections. As you remember, there is no template included, so you have to carefully paint all this stuff in order to get a more or less convincing appearance. Next we continue with the separate rear door, so as I said, you can also open it, which is also a nice feature, because as you remember, the floor was quite detailed, so it will be visible through it. Here we continue with the rear arms which are installed on the lower hull section, drive sprockets, road wheels, and basically you repeat all this stuff from both sides. Next you continue with tracks, and as you remember we have plastic tracks, so it's really nice to assemble them on your vehicle and it should be an easy process. Next there are various minor elements on the front and rear side, so headlamps for example. Here we have mud guards, and here you can see the special holder for the transport position of the main gun. And as you can see, main gun should be assembled out of several parts, so it should be movable, I suppose, but I really doubt that somebody will need the movable element on their model, but who knows. So as I said before, we also have separate panels for the turret, which is also a cool feature. And here we have a towing cable. We assemble the rear compartment for the storage. Here we install various parts for on the top section of the turret, Pioneer tools here as well. And next we have more hatches for the turret, so they can be also assembled in the open position. And jerry cans, which are attached to the side of this turret. Here we have various storage bins on both sides, so as you can see they will basically assemble into the whole rear section of the vehicle. And next what do we have here is the another hatch which is molded separately. Here we have the paper which should be placed over the searchlight as far as I remember. And here we have also the final step, so basically you combine the figure together with the vehicle. So what is next? Next we have two marking options. Here one comes from US Army, another one from US Army in South Korea. This one is from Texas. And that's also two marking options only. That's really surprising. But still I wonder where is my decal sheet. So just give me a second. It's really strange. Oh, so it was hidden in this paper in case you would be searching in the safety advices. So we have the really tiny decal sheet, and I guess this printed in Italy writing hints that it should be out of cartograph. Printing quality looks okay, and as you remember we have two marking options, so it should be fine for 1/72 scale set. And this kit should be already available, so you can get it in any good model shop. Of course, I would like to thank you once again for all the donations which made this review possible, and I will see you in the next video review. Don't forget to write your opinion here in the comment section below. If you like this video, don't forget to press the like button, and I will see you in the next video. As I said before, bye!